You're listening to the Purdy Girl Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Kelly Purdy. My mission is to connect military spouses, fiancés, girlfriends, and booty calls worldwide. So let's do this. I know. How annoying is this title, right? How to stay positive during a negative time. I can hear people saying, Ash, listen, right now is not a time for your positivity. And to that, I respectfully disagree. There is no doubt that 2020 has been pretty heavy so far. First, Kobe Bryant dies. Then we have the fires in Australia. Then COVID-19 happens and the economy shuts down and we're all afraid of dying of a virus. And now, with the protest against police brutality and all that comes with the Black Lives Matter movement, there's no doubt that this has been a heavy year. That is a fact. If there is anyone out there that hasn't felt the effect of at least one of those things I just mentioned, please give me their number because I need to have whatever they're drinking or smoking or whatever it is. Joke. That is a joke. But I'm seeing something out in the zeitgeist right now. It's kind of interesting. And that is the dismissal of whatever people are feeling, especially if you're white. Now, I can see both sides, right? I'm seeing, and it is mostly from white women showing up and probably for the first time ever being vulnerable and honest, saying they are saddened by what's going on and they're wanting to do more. Then I'm seeing the response from people saying, hi, your feelings don't matter right now. This is not about you. And I think two things can be true at once. I think a person is allowed to show up and share how they're feeling and then also simultaneously do what they can to help the situation in whatever way that makes sense to them, to donate to the causes they believe in, to show up to the protests, to support Black-owned businesses, to teach their children about how to be anti-racist. And believe it or not, all of that can be done and not broadcasted to the entire world. I know it's hard to believe. I do believe that we are doing our best. Now, could our best be even better? Of course. It's our responsibility to figure out how to be better and how to improve, always, in every aspect of life. I think that's one of the big positive things coming from all of this is people are really starting to examine the conversations they're having and wanting to truly know how they can help support the BLM movement. One thing I know is this. The finger pointing needs to stop. People attacking others for not posting on social media soon enough or not donating enough money or not having enough Black friends on their social media feeds, it's not helpful. I actually think it's quite hurtful. I think that's very divisive to just be blaming and finger pointing and not really even worrying about yourself anymore. You're worried about how all these other companies are showing up. It's divisive. How you choose to help and show up is fully your choice. It's not anyone else's place to tell you how to show up in this world. It's not anyone else's place to tell you how much money to donate or exactly how you're supposed to be feeling in this moment. I'm seeing people just irate about others being silent for a few days. And here's the thing. It's not everyone's personality to get on social media and pump their stories full of posts and do an Instagram live. Some people honestly just need time to let it sink in and read the stories and educate themselves. And I think that's okay. I do. I think that's okay. I think that's actually pretty smart to not be reactive, but instead to just pause for a moment, read and learn and truly know for yourself where you stand. And then if you want to post about it, cool. And if not, like, that does not make you a bad person. And that's just a lot of what I'm seeing. It's really fascinating. I'm like, what is going on here? So, with all that being said, I woke up this morning feeling like I needed to talk about finding positivity today. And not in a delusional kind of way, like, la, 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 I'm positive, picking flowers in a rainbow. Like, no, it's trying to be positive and coming from just a more smart and stoic kind of way. Being pissed off and negative and resentful and hateful and just mad. I mean, that the idea of me going through my day like that makes me want to die. I just can't live that way. We have to find ways to keep our head above water and to continue moving forward, or all of this negativity will take us down. I'm already feeling it. And like I said earlier, I have just felt such a heaviness on my heart. So here's what I'm doing to stay positive today. I finished writing out my intentions for June. So today, this podcast is coming out June 3rd. So at the beginning of every month, I write out intentions. I like doing this because it's a more gentle way to look at ways that I can improve my life. And I love it when I see you guys doing the same thing. You'll post it on social media. I think it's a really positive way for us to try to find growth each month. And I'm not super harsh with myself if I don't complete an intention. I simply examine the month prior. If I didn't do it, I can try again next month. And sometimes if I didn't do it, I can ask myself if it's truly important to me. Sometimes it's not. So I'm just like, yeah, that wasn't really that important to me. Moving on. You know what I mean? So a few intentions I have this month are, well, the first one is no social media until after my workout for the day. I've been that's been a rule of mine for a while, and I've been breaking it recently. I make excuses like I'm like, I'm gonna take this picture of my breakfast, and then I open social media, take the picture, post it, and then I'm like down a rabbit hole an hour later. You know what I mean? So we're going back to the basics. No social media until after my workout for the day, unless I'm doing cardio. I like doing social media while I'm doing cardio. It makes the time go by fast. I can usually pump out like a post or two that feels really right for me and almost like therapeutic. I get a lot of good ideas when I'm doing cardio. Anyway, another thing that I'm focusing on this month is to do my breathing exercises right after my prayer and meditation. So the breath work I've been doing is just this little app on my Apple Watch where I breathe in and out deeply for just 1 minute. And lately I've been doing this a few times a day if I feel like I need it, but for sure at least one time a day. Another one I'm choosing to do is to put 10 things away before I go to bed. Waking up with a clean, decluttered home is so nice, and it really sets the tone for the day. B and I, my husband, we're not messy people, but like clutter can definitely just show up throughout the day, you know? So, yeah, just putting away 10 things, that's doable. It's definitely doable. And I did it last night, and oh, it was just marvelous waking up to such a beautiful apartment. Anyway, another way I'm choosing to stay positive is to really control what I am consuming today on podcasts, social media, the news. It can all be just so consuming sometimes. And I'm noticing in a lot of my conversations with friends that we're really feeling the effects of it. And how could we not, right? You have to be a freaking robot to not feel the effects of what's going on in the world. That being said, I do think it's important to stay informed of what's going on. I refuse to live in a complete delusional state. It's honestly a big pet peeve of mine when people say, oh, I don't watch the news, or I have no idea what's going on in politics. Like, that really bothers me. It is our American responsibility to stay informed. Sure, it can be overwhelming, but you have to find a way that works for you to stay informed. And there's not just one way. For me, I like podcasts and also reading the news online. I've said this before, but I choose to follow what CNN is saying along with Fox News. I find like getting two opposing agendas helps me to decide for myself what I believe and what I stand for. I don't just want to be a sheep. I don't just want to follow blindly. Sure, it's a little more work, but you'll be a better person for it, honestly. So, how I choose to control my media consumption today, or how I'm going to today, is how am I going to do it? No, I'm just kidding. I like to set timers. So I set timers on my phone. This works well for me because how many times I can get sucked down a rabbit hole is shocking. So I set a timer for 10 minutes. I hop on, I see what's up. Then as soon as the timer goes off, I have to do something productive. And I'll do this a few times a day when I'm being really cognizant of my consumption, that is. And I would say, don't even be afraid to do a full detox if you need it. I don't feel like I need to do a full detox. I know last week my husband, he just went like a full week with no media. He just was kind of like overwhelmed with like everything going on. He's like, I'm doing a week off. And it really helped. It really helped him. I mean, you could do a day, you could do 3 days, a month, whatever it is that you need. We're all different. No one can tell you like, you needed a full month detox. Like, what do you need? Check in with yourself, figure out what you need. Maybe you're not even affected. I don't know. So the last thing I'll share with you today on how I plan to stay positive is to check in with family and friends. Like, this is big for me. Connection helps me so much, and really focusing my attention on others, it just gets me out of my own head. Plus, I think we could all use a little more connection these days. But I will say, I try to make sure the connection is constructive and positive. And I hope you know what I mean by that. Like, I think it's okay to talk about what's going on in the world with your loved ones, and I think you should talk about it. But there's a difference between getting off the phone with someone and you feel lighter and better compared to when you get off the phone with someone and you want to put your head in the oven. You know what I mean? So just be extra aware of that this week. So I hope this was helpful for you guys today. I know just hopping on here and talking it out with you was really good for me, and I hope it was good for you too. Sending you so much love today. Thank you for listening. Please remember to leave a 5-star review if you haven't yet. I am sending out some nifty gifties today for the month of May. I didn't mean to rhyme, but that's okay. You guys are amazing, and I will talk to you on Monday. Thank you for listening to Purdy Girl Podcast. If you have a second, please rate and review and share this podcast with somebody you think would love it. See you next week.